In 2015, Mastermind Adventures had a dream of creating a magical place where you could find imagination, wonder, and friendship. A place where you belong. Together, we brought that dream to life with the Eaglesclaw American School of Magic. We nurtured it and shared it with kids in schools, community centers, summer camps, and libraries all across New England. Now we invite you to be part of the next chapter, an immersive virtual event with classes, a Dungeons & Dragons adventure, and a mystery to solve with other Eaglesclaw students. This virtual event will give even more kids the opportunity to make lasting memories together. Even though so much has changed, one thing remains the same. You belong here.
Super excited tonight to be doing a live stream with a bunch of the alum from Eaglesclaw, the live action version of our Eaglesclaw American School of Magic that started in 2015. So we've been having fun getting ready for the show by just kind of chit-chatting and talking about some of our favorite memories. And I can't wait to introduce everyone to you. So without further ado, here they are. Yay! It's been a very, very long pandemic, let me just tell you guys. So I thought we'd start by just kind of going around and having everybody introduce yourself and tell the audience about what was the first year that you came to Eaglesclaw School. So Maya, you're first on my screen there, so you get to go first.
Okay, well, I'm Maya Ferreira, and the first year I attended Eaglesclaw was the first one, actually, so 2015.
2015, awesome. Simon, you're up next.
It's going to be the same one there. 2015. I was a little baby.
You were a little baby. You were just a little boo. All right, so this is Jamie. Introduce yourself, and what year did you first go to Eaglesclaw?
I also came in 2015. I was in 7th grade. It's been a hot minute.
And now you're in?
I'm a sophomore in college, yeah.
Wow. Time flies. All right, and Seth.
Hi, I'm Seth, and my first Eaglesclaw year was 2015, like everybody else so far. And yeah, I've been around since the beginning.
Awesome. I don't know if that technical issue's on my side or or if it's lagging for everyone, but sorry if it's lagging. And Allie, our
Hi,
Master of Lore.
Yes, hi. I'm Mastermind's Master of Lore. My first year at Eaglesclaw was also 2015, but it was not really. I was a teacher, not a student. I wish I could have been a student, but alas. And I'm so happy that we're starting Eaglesclaw up again. It's been a long time since we've done it, and I really miss it.
I agree. All right, so that is all of us, and I am. Can you guys confirm that are you getting technical weird slowness, or is that just me? Not sure.
There's just a little bit of lag.
A little bit of lag?
Okay. Allie, but that's it.
All right. Well, if for some reason the whole thing shuts down, I'm having a little bit of computer issues. We'll just meet you back here as quickly as possible. So anyway, I thought that we would start by just kind of telling people a little bit about what Eaglesclaw is, and sort of what the idea was behind Eaglesclaw School when we very first started it. So Eaglesclaw actually came about because I was really fascinated with the idea of live action role play, and we had been, I'm trying to think. 2015 is actually before we officially became a real live business, if you can believe that. We became an LLC in 2016. But before that, we were doing a whole lot of different programming, sort of a little bit more unofficially, I guess. And Eaglesclaw was our second big live action role play event. And some of you will remember the very first one, which was Camp Half-Blood at Borderland State Park in Easton, which was beautiful and chaotic and bananas. And Eaglesclaw was the next one because it was about the time that the College of Wizardry came out over in Poland, and I just thought that looked like it would be just the most fun. But I also thought, like, wouldn't it be cool if the kids could go to a whole day at a wizarding school? And so that's sort of how it came about, and it was sort of a chaotic mess. I feel like the first one, but we loved it. And it just kind of kept getting better as far as I'm concerned. But we did it in live. We did it at a church in New Bedford, which is why the story continues on at a church, something that looks like a church in New Bedford. Um, and the kids would come and do these awesome classes that were really fun and interactive. And then we would give them some kind of a mystery to solve. And every year it was a little bit more of the participants' input. A lot of the kids that kind of grew up with Eaglesclaw became prefects and started to have a little bit more agency about the story and about the scripts. Jamie, and just really wanted to contribute more and more to the world. And it really became its own thing. It really had a life of its own. And so when the pandemic hit, we were really sad that we couldn't do Eaglesclaw. It just wasn't safe. And coming into this year, we honestly, at the beginning when we started planning, we didn't think that we weren't sure. It was so up in the air, mask restrictions and all of that, and just the safety of it all. And so we figured we would try a virtual format. And I'm actually really excited about it because I think that it gives us an opportunity to share this incredible universe that we've all collaborated and worked on together with people outside of Massachusetts. Really kids can come from anywhere, pretty much, as long as the time frame works for them. And also, I think it makes it more accessible for maybe kids who couldn't physically come, for different reasons. It makes it more accessible for them as well. So I'm really excited about this. The other thing that happened this year was that Dungeons and Dragons came out with the Strixhaven Curriculum of Chaos module, which is a wizarding school. And it gave us some ideas of how we might be able to recreate some of the magic by doing it with a tabletop role-playing game. And so Allie will talk a little bit about that in a little bit. But I'm just so excited to have Maya and Simon and Seth and Jamie with us, and just to talk to them about what it was like early on coming to Eaglesclaw, and some of their favorite memories. So I do have some questions to kind of get us started, thinking about and kind of talking about, what it was like. But and anybody can start. You can do this popcorn style. We're not going to be super formal about it. But what was the very first time that you came to Eaglesclaw? What was that like for you? And anybody can start.
I went to the first Eaglesclaw because my friend told me about it. She was like, "Oh, this is happening next weekend, and you should totally come." And so I did, and it was the coolest thing that I've ever gotten to do. Just getting immersed in this world of creativity and chaos and magic was the coolest thing that I've ever done. And this is still years and years later, the thing that I brag about to all my friends is I got to do this. And everyone at my college now is very impressed.
Awesome. I saw your hand.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Maya.
It was the same exact thing for me as Jamie, where a friend told me about the event. She was like, "Oh, you should go," and I was like, "I don't know anything about Harry Potter." So this event actually got me into Harry Potter because I was like, I can't not go to a Harry Potter event and not know what's happening.
Nice.
Yeah, and I also brag about it all the time to my college friends. I'm like, you missed out, guys.
You weren't as cool as Maya. Simon, I saw you kind of wave. Did you want to jump in? If you're talking, you're muted.
Yes.
You're still muted. Third time's a charm, bud.
I had always been a Harry Potter fan. And I, to this day, still had not seen the last movie. So I was like, well, I mean, we're starting a whole new, world and everything. And I wanted to, be a part of it. And I would always participate with things that you guys had done before Eaglesclaw. So I was like, well, why not? So I went in, and boy golly, do I not regret a thing. Gotta get around to watching that movie.
Seth, any thoughts? I know that you kind of had a different perspective because you also saw the chaotic, my side of things, which was a little bit less magical at times.
Yeah, I think that's a symptom of being on a production team. I thought that our first event was pretty spectacular, thanks to all the effort that obviously people like you put in. On top of that, I was a prefect the very first year, I believe. So I still went to classes for a couple of years that we did it. But from the beginning, I had a sort of supervisory role because I was a little bit older than everybody. So I think that it was definitely an interesting experience because from the very beginning, part of my job was to imply that I had already been a student for some years. I think I even said I've been at the school for this many years during the very first year we did it, like to everybody. So I spent most of the day telling fun stories, and I think that really is a great microcosm of kind of the magic of Eaglesclaw is its ability to invite storytelling at every opportunity.
Oh, awesome. So was there anything, like, was the first event, as you were getting ready for it, was the first event end up being kind of what you expected it to be? Or were there any surprises that you guys found?
I mean, for me, I didn't realize how real it was going to feel, if that makes sense. I was like, yep, okay, I have my little Hufflepuff scarf and my like little backpack full of snacks and I'm ready to go. And at the end of the day, like I was a wizard. You know what I mean? It felt so much more real and magical than I could have anticipated. And that was one thing that stayed the same for me over years and years of doing this. Even as I got more into like the production side of things, on the day of, that was real magic. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I love that.
Me personally, I get now like the kind of plot of the first and second year a little bit confused. So it's hard to kind of answer that one, but I do remember the like magical feeling coming out of being like, wow, that was really different because, you guys had done so many different things before that were just kind of smaller, and being on that scale there was over 100 kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And being a part of that crowd going through to all these different classes and the location you had it set up, you just kind of get into the moment and you forget about it, especially when you're a lot younger and you can just sort of snap in.
Right. Yeah.
It's great.
I know for me, the thing I think that surprised me the most was that I really didn't have any idea what I was doing. And yet there seemed to be an order to it. I think that's something that surprised me. It's like the kids had absolutely no, there was no barrier between like, oh, I'm a normal just human kid, and oh, now I'm a wizard, and like I have a class and I've got somewhere to go, and it was so orderly, as far as that stuff's concerned. You know what I mean? And it just seemed like very natural. It seemed like very comfortable, which I thought was kind of a surprise. Allie, what about you? I know that you were there through all of the everything
from the beginning. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have to echo what Jamie was saying about there being like a magic to it, where you'd walk, like the kids would walk inside and there would be that moment where they weren't sure if they wanted to like really engage with it and how much they wanted to get into it. But by the end of the day, it was anytime you waved your hands or waved your wand, it was you were casting a spell. They would talk about all of these things that were happening in the school, like they had experienced them, even if it was just, you know, a like a fake niffler on a string.
Oh my gosh.
They saw a niffler and they had to go through that. And it was, I just love that. I love, and we've done Eaglesclaw things for like schools and after school programs. And a lot of those kids didn't ask to be there. And they were very, very, I guess, like cautious about wanting to take part in it. They thought it was kind of dumb and silly and baby stuff. And then by the end of even just the hour-long sessions we would do, they would be wizards, and they'd go home and tell their parents, I'm a wizard now. I can cast magic spells. Like, and I love that. I love how much people buy into it just because you're in a cool place with a bunch of people who are telling you, you know, we're making potions right now. We're going to study charms. We're going to work on herbology. I love all that stuff. Yeah. That's my favorite part.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. Oh, we do have a couple of videos that I thought I would play. We've got one from, and I think actually he's watching from work right now. But I got to figure out how to do this. Okay, so bear with me, guys, because this is new for me, this whole thing. But yeah, I would agree. It was absolutely magical, and you really believed. I think that we all had a piece of us that were just completely immersed, and there was no like difference between like the real world, and it's like, no, this is my life now. I can go cast spells. So, all right. So here is a little video from Ken, and he couldn't be with us live because he's working. But here is his contribution to tonight's little powwow.
I was asked to share a little bit about my time and experience at Eaglesclaw and to reflect on my favorite memory of the event. And honestly, as cliche as it sounds, the whole weekend was honestly incredible. It allowed us to get in touch with our inner wizards, and to be able to do it in such a welcoming and such a calm and such a fun and creative environment as Mastermind provides. You honestly can't get that experience at any other event anywhere that I can think of. You know, the event that the class that I loved most had to be wand dueling. And, you know, the classes really play on each other because we would do wand creation in one and then take the wand that we created and use it to, you know, duel each other in wand dueling. And the structure that they have for the classes, the thought that they put into it is something, you know, that is just absolutely incredible because the attention to detail makes everything just work on such a high level that, again, like I said before, you can't replicate it anywhere else. I also remember the trading cards of all the wizards and professors and how you would have to collect them, and working with Simon, one of the other prefects, we were the mascots for our house. And we had a race to kind of get as many trading cards as we could. And you forget that your real life friends are your real life friends, and you start to, you know, get sucked into this role playing world where your friends are wizards and you're all going through the overarching story of the weekend, and you get sucked into it. And every year, the amount of attention and the amount of work that Masterminds and Kristen and all the team there put into creating the story, and putting the details in is incredible. The homemade butterbeer was also an incredible highlight of it. Going out and playing Quidditch and getting absolutely exhausted and then coming back in and getting a refreshment was always the best part of the day. I would definitely recommend Eaglesclaw to anyone and everyone. The professors, the mastermind team, the prefects, everyone comes together to make it such a welcoming and fun and incredible event. And honestly, you can't go wrong. It is by far one of the best things I have ever done, and I wholeheartedly recommend it. And I'm excited to see what you guys have in store this year.
Aww. We love
so
you,
nice.
Kenan. Wasn't that nice?
Love you so much, Kenan.
And the butterbeer, I just thought was so funny. Like, honest to God, I've never seen so much sugar. From the Eagles Nest Cafe. It was just like, we just
it was
you guys
a sugar bomb.
Sugared you guys up, and so many kids just kept getting them. It was incredible, the amount of cream soda that we went through at Eagles Club. It was pretty fun. So Kenan shared some of his favorite memories. What about you guys? What are some of your favorite memories from any of the Eagles class that that you attended?
For me, I guess. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Seth.
Oh, go ahead.
For me, I guess one of my favorite moments was when we were, most of us were prefects. I was prefect at this time, and we did like this kind of like line dance situation, but it tied into the plot because at the end of the dance we got cut off because an evil wizard cast a spell on us or something. But I just thought that was really fun.
So fun. Seth, did you start to go?
Yeah, there were a lot of amazing moments at Eaglesclaw over the years, but there was one in the very first year that I think was just really hard to top, which was I was supervising a group of kids between classes, because that was mostly what I was doing. People were watching them while they were in class. So I was watching over my group of kids, and I found several people just frozen in place in mid stance of doing something, mid walking. And I had to track down why, because they wouldn't talk to me. And I found out that a random little kid had cast freezing spells on them. And I had to ask, why did you do that? And he claimed, well, I was going to unfreeze them eventually. I don't know if they all orchestrated that or if it was some kind of prank on me, but the number of people that were playing along with this thing just out of nowhere was wild.
Awesome. Anyone else?
I got one.
Go ahead.
Oh no, Allie, go ahead, go first.
I mean, you can also go first, but I'll go now. One of my favorite things was the year that we had detention, when we had the groundskeepers like walking around, and the groundskeeper was kind of a conspiracy theorist, and he would drop notes as he was taking the kids around to like do like clean things and do all the detention stuff. And once everyone kind of realized that you could get information in detention, it was suddenly all of these kids were like purposefully misbehaving so they could get into detention and find out more about the story. And that, like that natural kind of thing, I loved that. That was my favorite thing.
Yeah, oh, I remember that. Simon?
Well, my favorite memory definitely revolves around my mascot role that Kenan mentioned. Me and him got to play mascots one year, and I got to play it, I think, a year before him just by myself, and me and Seth got to be the prefects of the Grizzleheart House, and I got really into it. Me and him actually both did. We started, before everything started, you know, we were like stage fighting each other, so we would like headbutt each other, we chest bang each other, and for the whole part of it, the year after, when we got trading cards, because all the kids that would come back, they remembered me, and they were like, "What's up, Manny? How are you?" And they would come up to me, and they'd start asking for my autograph. And that was like the coolest thing that ever happened, because I was just this like kid in a bear mask, just screaming like, "I love this house, let's go!" Like, you know, this like absurd sports fan just in the Harry Potter universe. But the kids were totally into it. And now I had the chant memorized, and I replied to Kenan in the Twitch chat over there.
Yeah, I just showed it.
And that's probably my favorite memory, is just making all these kids just kind of happy and like, "Yeah, we love Manny." And even the year I came back as a villain, they were like, "Hey, aren't you Manny?" And I was like, "No. Who? Who the heck is Manny? I hate that guy."
Oh, Manny. We love him. Anybody else have a favorite overall, like just your very favorite memory from?
I think it was the same year that Allie mentioned, which I want to say was 2018, maybe? The year with the groundskeepers. And at that point, I was also a prefect. It was my first year as a full prefect, which was really fun. And so I got to like, I don't know, I had an idea of what was going on already, but we got so into the mystery that I like forgot that I knew what was going on and was like, okay, yes, we gotta look for clues and figure this out because I need to know. I knew. But like, I don't know, all these little kids would come up to me and be like, okay, I found this thing. And I was like, that is a blank piece of paper. Bet that's a clue. And so we would just run around collecting anything we could find to try and solve this mystery that in retrospect, I already knew. But for some reason, it was my favorite memory.
I love that. Kathy's chiming in from the chat over here that she loved the autographs.
I distinctly remember kids asking for my autograph on my trading card, which was like one of the coolest things.
Yeah.
I was not a cool kid in high school, but suddenly I was cool with all of the kids.
Yeah. My favorite has to be the year. I think it was so it didn't, my memory is actually from afterwards, even though it has to do with that year. But the first year we did have these sort of like, they were sort of like, what were they called, Allie? The little things on the sticks.
The nifflers.
Nifflers, yeah. We had made nifflers on sticks in kind of like the invisible dog trick, you know. And then we had put out coins, plastic coins, that the nifflers could find, because that's the deal with nifflers, is they find coins. And a bunch of the kids were collecting the coins. And then I think, Seth, you said to me later on the way home, like, that was really smart that you guys put those coins out so that the kids could like trade them for information from the house elves. Because the house elves were the little ones who weren't old enough to come to Eaglesclaw yet. And then we come to find out that after a while, the plastic coins were not enough for the little miniature humans. They wanted real money, and people started giving them, they were hustling. They started giving them real money to get additional information from the house elves, which I thought was just hilarious, horrible in some ways, but also very hilarious. And then the next year we had to make up a story and say, don't give your money to the house elves, because we had to stop them from gambling, over over in Connecticut, and we had to, like, obliviate all kinds of people's memories. And that's definitely still, I think, one of my best examples of just the creativity that came out of just setting up these structures for those days. So, what kind of an impact did Eaglesclaw have on you guys over the years?
I was thinking really hard about this. This was like my favorite question. So I started as a student, and then I became a prefect. And then the last year that we were in person, I was our head writer. I got to write the script for all of the cutscenes and the plot that was going to happen that day. And the thing that I learned the most from Eaglesclaw was how to use my writing to create a space that I felt like I belonged in, and that other people could use to make themselves feel like they belonged. Like, our whole story was about coming together to overcome the problem that was in the way. Like, everyone had to find a space for themselves to work together, and like, you couldn't do it without everyone involved. And that has really stuck with me, is that your magic is what you're using to connect with other people. Like, at the end of the day, I think it felt so magical because we were all there and we were all in it together, and that passion is kind of what keeps me going now. Like, that's the most important thing.
I love that. Don't make me cry. I'm not crying. You're crying. Anybody else have any ideas about like how Eaglesclaw had an impact on you, or how it changed you over the years?
I think it definitely helped me to kind of break out of my shell, because when I'm forced into like a position of being a prefect and having responsibilities, it definitely helps me to get over shyness and just kind of get the job done. But it's still fun too. It's not just like something that I'm forced into. It's something that I want to do and be able to engage with other people, which is really fun. So
I love that, Maya. I noticed that in you too over the years. I definitely saw you taking more of a leadership role and having more confidence. As we continued the program year after year. I'm so proud of you. What about
I have something to say.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Seth.
I was going to share that I actually genuinely learned a lot from taking classes at Eaglesclaw. Obviously, they're not as academic as normal classes, and obviously not as expansive in terms of number of hours you spend in a classroom. But as someone who isn't a particular fan of how normal classrooms tend to work, I have to say that the ability for my brain, at least, to retain information is increased considerably when it's presented as doing magic. I know that that seems like a small, kind of superficial motivator, but really, when you get down to it, when people present information through a drama or character or a story, it sticks in your mind, really. And the kinds of people that we would have as Eaglesclaw professors were the kinds of people who had profoundly interesting things to say that have stuck with me years later. So that is one of the biggest things I think that the program gave me.
I love that. Yeah, I do have to say, so we're doing a thing with all the professors next week, same time, same bad time, same bad place, and I have to agree with you. Some of the professors who came and helped us at Eaglesclaw are just the best humans on the planet. So you guys will get to hear from them next week. And then 2 weeks out, you'll get to hear from all of the Dungeon Masters. And I can't wait for that one too, because they are super excited. But right now we're going to hear a little bit from Lucas, who also sent in a little video for us. And here he is.
Hello. So I had a difficult time trying to choose what my favorite moment was from Eaglesclaw, just because there were so many, and I seriously couldn't decide which one to pick. So I'll settle with telling what I loved the most. And personally, what I loved the most was everybody just coming together, having a good time, and just living in that fantasy world of Harry Potter. It was one of the greatest things I have ever taken part of, and it was a moment that I will forever remember.
Thank you, Lucas. So excited that he got to send in his little blurb. I just love him so much. So yeah, what do you guys think? What about the community? I feel like that's kind of what he was talking about is just like that community that was built among us, as kind of the Eaglesclaw and really the Mastermind kids, kind of as a whole. But do you guys agree that that was an important part of it for you?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, 100%. I mean, being a prefect, especially, and then being involved with part of the plot, as we all got older, I think a big part of it was always trying to, wanting to make, I guess, the kids happy, and that really is the community.
Yeah.
So I think year after year, having all of them get a smile on their face was, I don't know, a big drive.
Yeah, I agree for sure. Do you guys have like a favorite class or activity, or a club that you really loved? And what is something that happened that you guys can remember from that?
If somebody can help me,
Can I go again?
First.
Yeah.
I got one for both of those questions, so
Good.
I'll keep it kind of shorter. My favorite club was, of course, the one that I was allowed to do. The second to last year, we were able to do it with Manny back there, with the cheerleading, and we did a performance at the end of the school day. It was amazing. I got to have so much fun with all the kids. We all had a bunch of laughs, and we got up on stage and we blew everybody away. It was just great. But my favorite class was Quackenbush's Rune class, the history.
Yeah.
Best one.
Yeah, I agree. Super fan. Seth?
Yeah, I was gonna say somebody might need to help me recollect what the magical name of it was. It was the thing where with predicting the future.
Divination.
Divinations.
There you go. There was a divination class that just I think there was actually more than one really interesting divination class because we would get people who were into real life spiritualism, and I just had a lot of really cool experiences in those classes.
Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of like the meditation class,
That's
right?
right.
Yeah. Yeah, those were awesome. Um, yeah. What? How about this question? Did you make friends at Eaglesclaw, or did you bring friends with you to Eaglesclaw, or a little of both?
Both definitely for me.
Both, yeah.
Yeah, because I had a friend mention the event to me, so she got me into it, and then I met people along the way, like Jamie, and like we ended up hanging out a lot together, playing Pathfinder. So I definitely made a bunch of friends here, and every time I see them out in public, I'm like, "Hey, it's a Masterminds kid!" I get
Yeah.
really excited.
Mastermind kids. Whoop whoop.
For me, absolutely. Which, first of all, our Pathfinder campaign was legendary. I still think about it.
Exactly.
But I work at the Renaissance Fair now. Occasionally, people will come through, and I'm like, I remember you. You were a prefect in 2017 for Murdoch. Or I'll see our Eaglesclaw kids now who are like in high school, which is freaky, first of all.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, okay, I don't know if it's weird for me to go up to you and be like, remember when you were a wizard for a day? But I have made so many friends because of Eaglesclaw, because of talking about Eaglesclaw, and I definitely brought friends with me because I needed them to share in the experience that I was having.
Awesome. Yeah, I know that I do feel like Eaglesclaw and just all the activities that we were able to do with Masterminds in those years. I saw you guys making connections for sure, and that it really seemed like it was something that um, made the difference for a lot of kids. You know, being able to have sort of a space that was safe and embracing and creative and a place that you guys could just be kids, and that was something I think that Ali and I think would agree that that was really important to us, is that you guys had a space that you could feel that you could be yourself, that you could explore, and grow and find things that you were interested in that maybe surprised you. But yeah, was really really grateful to be able to have that time with you guys. So, what about this question? Um, what was your favorite storyline? I know that somebody talked about the cards. We should probably explain a little bit more about what those were, but we're giving cards out. Yeah. Oh, you have yours. Oh, nice, Simon. So, but
I
what was
have
your?
the card
Yeah.
for every prefect in here, actually.
Oh, nice. Do you
Yeah,
want to
I've
tell
got.
people about what the trading card year was?
Didn't we have them 2 years actually?
We
Yeah.
had
We
them for
did, yeah.
Stone's Throw. The last
Yep.
year that we ran it, they were part of the game,
Yeah.
which was going to
So
be my favorite storyline.
The first year we did it, it was just trading cards. The second year, it
Exactly.
was part of the game.
So I think Ali would be more acquainted to explain the stones throw aspect, but the first year I think it was more of just the aspect of, hey, your prefect in your house or the teacher that you like the most and things like that. Uh, they're gonna have trading cards and things like that, and you guys can collect trading cards from everybody. I didn't really fully grasp it, but I was totally on board with my face being on a trading card at the time, and I was all about it. And then you guys added a game and made a whole game around it the second year, which I think Ali should explain that.
Allie, you've been summoned.
Oh, okay. You, as per usual, to describe the games.
Yes.
So a stone's throw was our take on casting stones, which is a kind of a game from the beginning of like the Harry Potter phenomenon. It basically involves trying to capture like towers and create like capture more towers than your opponent. And we kind of the second year that we did it, we'd always used it for as like kind of a little minor activity that you could play. Some of the professors would play it with you. But we thought it would be fun if we introduced cards. The original game had cards that went along with the game where you could like do special abilities if you happened to pull like the right card and had it in front of you. So we went through and we took all of the cards that we made the year before, and I spent like a week coming up with mechanics for all of them, and we play tested a little bit, and then that's kind of where the card game came from. And it was a bigger hit than we could have ever imagined. Everyone got like a little booster pack of cards with their like when they registered. So everyone that came in got handed a little pack of cards, and once they kind of figured out that it was like a collecting game and a like an actual trading card game that you could play in the school with everyone, some of the kids just went bananas, and it was so fun to see. I think I remember the winning deck being like a crazy combination of a couple of cards that I didn't even like think about. And the whole time I was like, I really need to change some of these cards next year if we're going to do this, because they would wipe the floor with any opponent. I'm sure. I think Simon, you were the last guy that they fought because you were the cheater. And it was such a fun, interesting experience. Like I said, like having people come up and be like, "Hey, can you sign my card? Like here's a marker. Like sign my card for me because like I have a signed thing." They were selling them. Like they'd be like, "Hey, I've got a full set of rares. Who wants these?" Like it was so interesting, and like
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to pop you down there. Yeah, I agree. I did not expect it to be as many things at Eaglesclaw. They were like, "Oh, we're gonna do this fun little thing, and it'll just be, no big deal, and it'll be fun, and maybe the kids will like it." Holy cow! The trading cards were just without even the game were insane. Like the kids were so into it. I also loved that that our nurse went around. She didn't have it. Hers was not a rare. And so she made it rare by going around and asking every kid if they had her card. So she messed with the I loved that. I thought that was brilliant. So yeah, and I would love to figure out how we could do it virtually, going forward.
I have been thinking about it.
Have
so.
you?
Yeah, I have.
Surprised.
There's a couple of virtual card game like places where you can upload like custom cards. So I've been thinking about it. Not this year or not this event, but maybe the next
season.
one.
Yeah, maybe the next season. Yeah, I agree. And then Stone's Throw. I always loved that game. I always thought that it was so much fun. And I loved kind of our version of it. And I loved the competitive nature of the playoffs. I mean, I thought it was just really, really a fun year.
I am honestly amazed that we managed to work the card game into the story in such a way that it was very dramatic and just like I couldn't believe that. Like Jamie, I have hats off to you because like being able to work that into the story and have it go perfectly, like that is so unpredictable and so magical when it happens.
Yeah.
I will say that Simon and I definitely threw a lot of our games because we were supposed to play each other.
Oh,
yeah. The end plot was that he was gonna win. Like we had particular champions out of the like NPCs that we were playing. So we all like taught ourselves to play together, and then we're like, okay, so you and you and you are gonna make it through. And then we would like trade each other for the worst cards so that we could make sure people had the right decks. I do vividly remember a kid collecting an entire deck of only Minnie the Mouse Got cards.
I remember that kid. Yeah, he did. He had a whole. He wanted every Manny card, and
I think he made
Manny-
Simon sign all of them.
That was
Yeah.
Logan Morin.
Oh,
you know, I'm not surprised. That is
And
not a
I
surprising thing to hear
remember
that.
signing
Checks out.
every single one of those cards.
checks out. Yeah. That sounds right.
That's one of our mastermind friends. For anyone who doesn't know.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. And his mom's gonna be a teacher this round as well. She's gonna do potions, I think, again. So that'll be really fun. Oh my gosh, yeah, so many good memories, you guys. So the last few minutes, I did want to kind of go through and explain sort of. I had started to make a video. I didn't get it done, so I can't just show you the video. But I will finish the video and I will send it out and post it so that people can kind of get an idea. Because I think that, as we're talking about this event as a physical, like live action in real, meet space, as one of my friends likes to say, event. It's very different to conceptualize it as a virtual event. And I know a lot of people are thinking like, I don't get it. Like, how are they going to make this immersive or anything that's similar to the Eaglesclaw in real life? So what we're doing is we're actually using a number of different software that will create a sort of a more immersive structure for the event that we are hoping, and I really do think that it's going to make it a lot more interesting to be involved in. So yes, there's Dungeons and Dragons games. Yes, there are virtual classrooms, but the whole thing is going to be encapsulated in a story and into some virtual environments that will help the kids to explore, find secrets, be able to kind of collaborate and talk to one another, both through voice and through text chat. So I do think I can share with you at least one of our mock-up maps that, let's see, hopefully this works and I don't show you something crazy. But this will give you sort of an idea. And again, this is our beta. So this is not what it's going to look like in its final, but it'll give you an idea of kind of how the kids might move around the map. So they'll have and I don't know, if I click on this, do you see the schedule? Do you guys see the schedule?
I don't.
No?
You can see the floor plan, but not the schedule.
Oh, okay. Then I'll just keep it with this. So everybody will have a schedule and they will have links that will be sort of a shortcut to allow the kids to get to where they need to go a little bit more quickly. So they don't get lost or don't know where to go. They can always go back to their schedule and click on where they're supposed to be, and it'll just port them directly into it. But this is one of the explorable maps that we can kind of poke around in and take a look at. Each of these sections has like a visual aspect of it. Some of the sections also have some audio, and some of these, when they click on visit, they can actually get a little bit deeper into some things that they can explore. They can discover clues, they can read more information about things, and they can actually use the map to also get around two classes if they wanted to. If they wanted to kind of figure out where where something was, they could use the map to do that. But if not, they could, in their free time, they can poke around the map and look for clues. There's going to be secrets on the map. In some of these rooms, we have also added some audio. Here's an example. And these are just chained together so that they can move around and actually find different things to make it a little bit more like they are physically moving around a space. So this is our charms class with Violetta Craftwick. She's one of our teachers you guys will meet next week. And that is kind of how we are. Those are some of the things. That's not everything, but it is at least some of the things that that we're hoping will help to make this much more of an immersive and interactive experience. It's really important to us that the kids have a chance to meet each other, to collaborate, to work together, Dungeons and Dragons is just the easy, like it's a no-brainer with Dungeons and Dragons. And if you're not familiar with D&D, it really is a concept and a kind of game that the kids can take on a character and really embody it, and feel like they are having a similar kind of experience as these kids have talked about today. So that's kind of the easy part. We've also got scenes that are going to be happening with a mystery that will sort of be the long arc throughout the day, and an even longer arc as we go from one Eaglesclaw event to the next, because the idea is that we're actually gonna do these every 3 months or so. The event on the 16th is the kind of the flagship day event that we're hoping to get as many kids as we can, because that'll make it even more fun. But they can also continue on into the week of D&D camp. If you're on the East Coast and you have the break that week, then you can actually come every day for a half day and continue your D&D adventure and continue your own story. And if that doesn't work for you, we also have tables that will be starting, that'll be meeting weekly. So if the kids want to continue their story and continue to build their character, they can do that by coming to these different activities and events. But our goal is for it to be a fully immersive and really, really fun, not just like, oh, they're going to be on Zoom calls all day. That's not the idea. They're going to have breaks. They're going to be able to get up and move around. They'll be able to do whatever that they need to do in between. And the classes are really, really fun classes. And I can't wait for you all to meet both our dungeon masters and our professors. So I thought maybe Allie, you could talk a little bit more about maybe the plot that we're going for this year with Eaglesclaw School, as we're taking on this new kind of virtual format. And I don't know, feel like there was something else, but if I can remember it, then I will I will say it to you. But if you could just tell folks about like what they can expect for as far as the plot is concerned, and what they're, oh, I forgot to say that we've got other stuff too, but that's okay. So yes, Allie, take it away.
Awesome. So we have a 4-point story for this year, 1 point per event for the 4 events total. This is a lot different than how we've usually done it. Usually Eaglesclaw is a 1-day event per year. This one is going to be a little bit longer and a bit more immersive throughout the year, not just on that one day. So the general plot is that, without revealing too much and kind of spoiling everything, the 4 founders of Eaglesclaw, when they created Eaglesclaw, they put up elemental wards to protect the school, to keep it hidden from those non-magic individuals who might wander through it. It is in the middle of a city, so they wanted to be sure that no one would find it that wasn't supposed to be there. And over the years, they've held up, but now the wards are failing for some reason. There's random tourists wandering into the area looking for interesting things, and they're seeing magic being used. They're seeing strange creatures that they probably didn't see before, elves and trolls and goblins. And that is not very great for magic in general, because people sometimes don't like what they can't understand. So in order to restart the wards and relay them, the teachers are looking for these places. Unfortunately, the places where the wards were kept were hidden because the founders wanted to be sure that only people who knew them very well would be able to find them. So each event is focused around a different ward. We're starting with the Earth Ward, which is Gretchen Grizzleheart's ward. And throughout the course of the event, all of the students are going to be listening for clues and searching the school. And eventually they will help to either restart the ward or maybe not. And that will carry over into the next event. So we're hoping it's going to be a really immersive event, a really fun event with a lot of really cool stakes. And it's also kind of a way to be at Eaglesclaw throughout the year. To be able to talk to other students in a private Discord server where you have access to your common room and you can talk with people. It's very different from our usual Eaglesclaw events, but we really are hoping that it's going to feel and be the same kind of community, the same kind of fun and immersive and a magical experience for everyone. So
Awesome. Thank you, Ali. So we're just wrapping up, and yeah, I am so excited to see how this all comes together. We have a lot of really smart and really talented people working on this. The dungeon masters that we have at Mastermind Adventures, Ali can tell you. Well, Simon is one of them, but they are amazing.
I'm not one of the smart ones.
And incredibly talented storytellers. They've all been trained on how to work with kids. We are very careful about our safety here at Mastermind. Everybody's background checked and just vetted really, really well before they become a Mastermind Adventures Dungeon Master. So we can't wait to work with your kids, and I do have there is a coupon right now that is available, I think, through tomorrow, and then we'll be sending out some new ones. So I just put a banner up on the bottom. But yeah, register for Eaglesclaw, register for the camp, come to the weekly meetups, because I think it's really a great opportunity for kids to use their imaginations and to make friends and to become better leaders, as you've seen right here with our Eaglesclaw alumni. So our final question as we wrap up for you guys is, here's a lightning round, so it can be short answers. But why should a kid come to Eaglesclaw events?
Well, there is just literally nothing else like it. There is no other program or camp or day thing that you can have your kid do that provides these same benefits, that has the same level of communication, the same level of wholesomeness, the same level of interactivity, and the same level, I think, most importantly, of encouragement of kids using their natural talents.
Love that. Thank you, Seth. All right.
Going off of what Seth said, I can't really repeat it, so I guess I'll try and make something new here. There's nothing really else like Eaglesclaw in the sense of it's probably one of the more immersive wizarding schools in the area, and now it's online. Woo! But what Eaglesclaw can do is, even for people who aren't Harry Potter fans, it can bring you into a world and just make you so immersed and get you wanting to experience everything that's going on. And that's something that I think is really unique about a lot of the events that we put on. So I think this is really something that, even if you're not sure if you are into Harry Potter or not, you should definitely give this one a try.
I mean, just like it says in our title, you belong here. Eaglesclaw is for you, and you can make it yours.
Yeah, and going off of what Simon said, immersion is probably one of the best parts of this, and the community, because the immersion of these events, even though this one might be virtual, it's still people get into the characters. They really sell the characters, and it's like you're in the world. Like, I've been to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter in Orlando, and it's the same experience going to like a Mastermind events. And so it's, I don't know, it's like priceless. It's something you can't really get elsewhere.
Aw, I love you guys. I miss you guys so much. I can't wait to see you guys all in person. We'll have to do, maybe over the summer, we should have a big get together reunion and see everybody.
Absolutely.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I would love that. Well, thank you everybody for being here today. Thank you, Ali, for always being my The wind beneath my wings.
Oh.
You always have my back when I'm like, hey, we gotta do this thing. All right. Oh, is Manny the mascot gonna sign us off here?
Hey, I'll do whatever I need to do.
Does Manny have something to say?
I will see you at the next Eaglesclaw event. Because I want you to be at Grizzleheart so you can get silver and green.
Don't listen to him. The Snowbeaks are the best.
Yes, Snowbeak is the best.
Do we just have do we just have Grizzleheart and Snowbeak here? Are those the
Yeah.
only two houses represented? Oh my goodness!
Yes.
So
Yeah!
I can promise you that our demo Eaglesclaw stream will have one member from every house, though.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And we did just I did get just the sorting quiz app, so we'll be sending those out to folks and they can find out. You can find out what house you belong in. All right, folks, thanks so much for everything. And I can't wait to see you all very soon. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching, y'all.